Hey everyone, welcome to the show. Ever wished you could just rewrite your past, like get a do-over?
Hmm.
Well, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
Because even in fairy tales, sometimes getting what you want comes at a pretty steep price.
Yeah.
Today we're diving deep into a dark fantasy novel called The Ballad of Never After. It's by Stephanie Garber.
It really takes those classic fairy tale tropes and twists them in a kind of dark way,
Yeah,
exploring the shadows lurking beneath happily ever afters.
I love that. And this deep dive is extra special because it was you, our listeners, who provided the book.
That's right.
So thank you for that. You can find the link to the book on Amazon in the description if you want to follow along.
Yeah.
And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into these really captivating stories.
Definitely.
Okay, so what's so fascinating about this book?
Well, I think it really plays with our expectations.
Right.
We're kind of lured in with these familiar fairy tale tropes, right? Like a cursed prince, a charming robe,
Uh-huh.
a quest for a magical artifact. But then Garber kind of pulls the rug out from under us
Right.
and reveals these deeper layers of betrayal, sacrifice, and the intoxicating allure of power.
That's so true. Okay, so the story centers around Evangeline Fox, and she is anything but your typical damsel in distress.
Right,
She's so fierce and determined, and she's deeply in love with her husband, Prince Apollo.
right.
But their love story is far from a fairy tale.
Definitely not.
Because Apollo is afflicted by this really terrifying curse, the Archer's Curse,
Yeah.
which compels him to hunt Evangeline. Can you imagine
Oh my gosh.
being hunted by the person you love most? Talk about a twisted fairy tale.
That's a nightmare.
It's so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And it really raises all these questions about, the nature of love and free will. If your actions are controlled by a curse, can you really be held accountable?
Yeah, where does love and an obligation begin?
Exactly, exactly. And so this curse isn't just a plot device.
Right.
It's more like a metaphor for all these forces that can bind us and control us, whether it's societal expectations, past traumas, or even our own desires.
Absolutely.
So Evangeline finds herself on this desperate quest to break the curse and save Apollo.
Right.
And her journey takes her to the magnificent North, which is this land ruled by these really powerful beings called the Fates.
Not your typical fairy godmothers.
Definitely not. They embody all these different aspects of destiny: love, loss, fortune, even death. And they wield their power with this chilling detachment. And one of the most intriguing and definitely dangerous is Jax.
Oh, Jax, the infamous Prince of Hearts.
Yes, he's everything you'd expect. Charming, witty, and of course with that signature deadly kiss. But he's also manipulative and shrouded in secrets.
Totally. He embodies both the allure and danger of falling in love.
That's such a good point.
Right.
It's like that intoxicating feeling of falling for someone who's a bit dangerous, who pushes your boundaries, makes you question everything.
Makes you question everything you thought you knew about love.
Exactly, exactly. And Evangeline finds herself drawn to him, even though she knows she can't fully trust him.
Yeah, it's like a classic case of the heart wants what it wants.
Right, even if it's potentially dangerous.
Exactly.
Which makes their dynamic so compelling. Like, you're constantly wondering, is he truly helping her, or is he using her for his own ends?
You just never know.
You never know. And then there's the Valory Arch, this ancient magical portal shrouded in all this mystery, rumored to hold the key to breaking Apollo's curse.
It's like a Pandora's box.
Oh,
A source of immense power that could either save the world or destroy it. Everyone wants to unlock its secrets,
yeah.
but no one knows the true cost.
It's like the ultimate be careful what you wish for scenario.
Totally.
And speaking of wishes, Evangeline discovers that the key to opening the Valory Arch lies in finding 4 missing magical stones.
Ooh, the stones.
Yes. And each represents a different facet of human desire: luck, youth, truth, and mirth.
It's so interesting because they're not just magical trinkets. They represent things we all crave, right? Like good fortune, eternal youth,
Of course.
honesty, happiness. But the story makes us question whether these desires, when taken to extremes,
Right.
can actually lead to happiness or just more suffering.
That's such a good point. It makes you think. And as Evangeline embarks on this treasure hunt, she uncovers this really tragic history
Yeah,
that's intertwined with Jax's past and the fate of the magnificent North.
right.
And we learn about the Merrywood Three, this group whose tragic demise holds the key to unlocking the Valory Arch's secrets.
They're like a cautionary tale.
Oh, interesting.
A reminder that even those who seem to have it all can fall victim to betrayal and violence.
That's a good point.
And their story adds this layer of melancholy.
Yeah.
Like a sense that even in this world of magic and wonder, darkness can lurk around every corner.
It can. And for Evangeline, it all feels really personal, especially when she starts seeing that handsome stranger from her dreams in the real world.
Oh, the handsome stranger.
Yes, this mysterious figure who seems to be warning her about Jax.
He's such a wild card. Is he a guardian angel, a figment of her imagination, or something else entirely?
Right.
His presence adds this layer of suspense.
Yeah,
It leaves you wondering who to try and what secrets lie ahead.
totally. And speaking of secrets, Evangeline's in for a big shock when she discovers that Lala, her seemingly loyal friend, is actually the one responsible for Apollo's curse.
Oh my gosh, the ultimate betrayal.
I know. It's like, talk about betrayal.
It makes you question who you can truly rely on, especially when magic's involved.
That's so true. It really does. Like, if your best friend could curse the man you love, what else is she capable of?
Exactly, and this betrayal throws Evangeline's world into chaos.
Yeah.
She's already grappling with the cursed husband, a manipulative fate, and now she has to deal with the fact of her own friend is the source of her pain.
It's just gut-wrenching. It really highlights those devastating consequences of misplaced trust.
Ab-
And it adds this whole other layer of complexity to Evangeline's character. Like, how does she even cope with this betrayal?
Right.
Does it make her harden her heart? Or does it make her even more determined to fight for the people that she loves?
Those are great questions. And those are exactly the questions that we're going to be exploring as we delve deeper into Evangeline's journey. And now she's faced with this impossible choice.
I know.
Does she trust Jax,
Right.
the Prince of Hearts with his hidden agenda, to help unlock the Valory Arch?
Mm-hmm.
Or does she risk losing Apollo forever? Talk about a high-stakes gamble.
It really is.
It's like that classic dilemma, do you trust your gut?
Yeah.
Even when it's like whispering all these warnings about someone who seems so charming and helpful.
Right.
And Evangeline's internal struggle kind of mirrors our own suspicions about Jax as readers.
Yeah.
We're drawn to him,
Uh-huh.
but we're also wary of his motives.
They are.
I think this is where Garber's writing really shines.
I agree.
She creates this atmosphere of like tension and uncertainty,
Yeah.
where every character has a secret.
Right.
Every alliance feels so fragile.
They do.
And remember Chaos?
Yeah.
He's not just some creepy recluse
Right.
lurking in the shadows.
Mm.
He's obsessed with the Valory Arch.
He is.
And he needs Evangeline's, like, unique power to unlock it.
Yeah.
But why?
Why? That's the question.
If we kind of connect this to the bigger picture,
Yeah.
I think Chaos's obsession hints that there's like a deeper power struggle at play.
Oh, interesting.
Is he like a pawn in a larger game?
Right.
Or is he actually manipulating all these events for his
Uh-huh.
own mysterious purposes?
It makes you wonder.
It really does.
Wonder.
And this is where I think the prophecy surrounding Evangeline comes in.
Yeah.
Is she actually destined to unlock the Valory's treasures
Yeah.
or to unleash its imprisoned evils?
Ooh, good question.
There's a constant push and pull of like fate versus free will.
Right.
Adds this whole other layer of philosophical depth, I think,
Agreed.
to the story.
It does. It does. Yeah.
Okay, so picture this.
Okay.
Evangeline, Jax, and Chaos all gathered together in the library,
Uh-huh.
surrounded by all these ancient texts and forbidden magic. They're ready to open the arch.
Right.
The air just crackles with anticipation.
Yeah.
And dare I say, a hint of dread.
Oh, for sure.
As the arch kind of chimmers with this power.
Yeah.
Evangeline's suspicions about Jax really start to solidify. She
Mhm.
realizes it's not a treasure chest at all.
Mhm.
It's actually a prison.
Oh, wow.
And this discovery flips everything we thought we knew about the Magnificent North on its head.
Right, like a prison. But if the Valory's a prison, then who's trapped inside?
Right.
What does it mean for the Magnificent North?
Exactly.
Which has been under the supposed rule of the benevolent Valors for centuries.
Hold on to your hats because this is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
The true treasure locked inside the Valory Arch
Uh-huh.
is the Valors themselves.
Wait, what? The Valors, the supposed protectors of the North,
I know.
are the ones imprisoned.
Crazy, right?
Who imprisoned them?
That's the question.
And why?
These are the questions that start to like unravel
Yeah.
the tapestry of the North's history. It turns out that the Valors weren't actually these like benevolent rulers that we thought they were.
Wow.
They were actually tyrants
Right.
who were overthrown
Oh.
and imprisoned by, well, let's just say a powerful enemy.
Okay, a powerful enemy.
And their imprisonment is actually the source of all these curses that have been plaguing the land.
Wow. Talk about a plot twist.
It really
But
is.
realizing the heroes you've been rooting for
Right.
were actually the villains all along?
Exactly.
But what does this mean for Evangeline's quest to break Apollo's curse?
Right.
Like, is it even possible if the source of the curse is imprisoned within the Valory Arch?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
And just when we think things couldn't get more complicated,
Oh, no.
we get the big reveal about Jax's true identity.
Okay.
You remember that mysterious portrait of the Merrywood Three?
Yeah.
The one that just vanished
Right?
before Evangeline could figure out which figure was Jack's?
Yeah, the one with Cast of Valor, Lyric Merrywood,
Right.
and that enigmatic archer.
It always felt like a Chekhov zone.
It did.
Just waiting to go off.
Yes.
Well, it turned out Jax is the archer
What?
from the portrait, and not just any archer.
Oh.
He's the same archer from the Ballad of the Archer and the Fox.
Wow.
The fairy tale that haunts both Apollo and Evangeline.
Hold on, so all this time,
I know.
the person that she's been confiding in,
Yeah.
the one she's been developing feelings for,
Right.
he's the one who cursed her husband.
It's a shocker.
That's a shocking twist.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
It really is.
That explains so much.
It explains so much.
Like his knowledge of the curse,
Yeah.
his obsession with the Valory Arch,
Right.
his insistence that there's no other cure for Apollo.
Exactly.
He's been playing this really long game,
Yeah.
manipulating Evangeline to help him achieve his goals.
Yeah. It's a total game changer.
It is. It is.
So what happened the next?
Yeah, what happens next?
Does Evangeline confront him?
Yeah.
Does she try and stop him from opening the arch?
Right.
Well, she's understandably stunned.
Of course.
And heartbroken.
Yeah.
But she also starts to understand why Jax is so desperate to open the arch.
Okay.
It's not just about power
Right.
or escaping punishment. It's about love and loss
Oh.
and this unbearable weight of guilt.
So this seemingly heartless fate,
Right.
the one who cursed her husband,
Yeah.
is actually motivated by a broken heart.
Exactly. Jax believes that he killed the woman he loved because of the archer's curse.
Oh, wow.
And he's been trying to undo that tragedy ever since he's been living with this immense guilt and pain,
Uh-huh.
just driven by the belief that if he can change the past,
Right.
he can fix everything.
That's so sad.
It really is.
It is.
This really humanizes him
It does.
in a way we didn't expect him.
Yeah.
It forces us to kind of grapple with the idea that even those who seem so villainous
Right?
can be driven by love and grief.
That's true.
And it makes us question, would we do the same thing?
Yeah.
If we had the power to change the past,
Mhm.
to undo a tragedy that haunts us?
That's a good question.
But remember, manipulating time always comes with consequences.
Of course.
Even Chaos himself warns Jax
Does he?
that altering the past could have all these, like, disastrous ripper effects.
Right. It could change everything.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So now Jax is faced with a choice.
he is.
Does he prioritize his own personal pain
Uh-huh.
and risk unraveling the fabric of time?
Right.
Or does he accept the past and find a way to move forward?
That's the question.
What does he choose?
Yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see.
So Jax is really about to manipulate time
It seems like it.
and try to undo his tragic past.
Yeah, it's such a heart-wrenching decision
Yeah,
because you can see his pain, you can see his desperation,
yeah,
but you also, meddling with time
right.
could have, like, catastrophic consequences.
That's
So it's like the ultimate moral dilemma, right?
it really is.
Does the potential to rewrite your past,
Yeah,
to erase those painful memories,
right.
justify the risk of disrupting the entire timeline?
The whole timeline.
I know.
And even if he succeeds in changing his past,
Yeah,
will it actually bring him peace?
that's the question.
Or
Like,
will he just create new problems,
Right.
new regrets?
it's almost like those classic time travel paradoxes,
Right.
where changing one thing can have all these unforeseen consequences
Absolutely.
down the line.
Yeah,
But this isn't just like a thought experiment.
right.
This is about to become reality.
It is.
Evangeline standing right there,
Yeah.
witnessing Jax about to unleash this potentially world-altering magic.
It's crazy.
What's going through her mind?
I think it's important to remember that Evangeline is dealing with her own emotional turmoil.
Of course.
She's lost all those memories of her time with Jax,
Right.
the quest for the stones, even her friendship with Lala.
Yeah.
It's like a part of her is missing a
Uh-huh.
void that she can't quite explain.
Right.
But I think despite all of this,
Mm.
she still sees Jax's pain,
Uh-huh.
his desperation.
Yeah,
I think it's a real testament to her empathy
It's-
and compassion,
absolutely.
even in the face of her own grief.
Right, so she knows he's about to make this potentially catastrophic decision.
Yeah,
But she also sees his humanity,
yeah.
his
Every
vulnerability.
vulnerable.
It's like such a heart-wrenching situation,
Absolutely.
To want to stop someone from making a terrible mistake,
Uh-huh.
but also understanding the pain that's driving them.
Yeah, it's tough.
It is tough. It's really tough.
And it's in this incredibly tense moment
Yeah.
that Evangeline makes a discovery
Okay.
that changes everything.
That is it.
She finds this, like, hidden inscription on the Valory Arch,
Wow.
a message from the Valors themselves,
Interesting.
warning about the true nature of the stones.
It's like a message from beyond the grave.
Yeah, totally.
A cautionary tale from those who've had firsthand experience
Right.
with the dangers of manipulating time.
Yeah.
So what does this inscription reveal?
Well, the inscription reveals that the stones aren't just tools to change the past.
Okay.
They hold the much darker power.
Right.
They can actually unravel the fabric of time itself
Wow.
and potentially destroy the entire timeline as we know it.
So it's not just about changing one event, it's about the potential annihilation of everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that raises the stakes
It does.
to an unimaginable level.
To a whole other level.
So does Jax heed the warning? Does he realize he's gone too far?
He hesitates.
Okay.
You can see the conflict like raging within him.
Yeah.
The desire to save his lost love, battling against the realization of the potential consequences.
Right.
But ultimately, I think his grief and his guilt win all.
Yeah.
He's willing to risk everything, even the destruction of time itself,
Oh.
for a chance to rewrite his past.
Like that classic tragic hero moment, driven by good intentions,
Yeah.
but blinded by grease.
Uh-huh.
He's about to make this decision
Right.
that could have devastating repercussions.
Devastating.
So does anyone try and stop him?
Well, as Jax is like preparing to activate the stones, Evangeline makes this like desperate plea. She
Oh.
begs him to reconsider, to think of the potential devastation he could unleash.
Right.
But he's just so consumed by his own pain that I don't even think her words register.
Oh, no.
It's like watching a train wreck in slow motion.
Yeah.
You know that something terrible is about to happen,
Uh-huh.
but you feel powerless to stop it.
Right.
Is this it? Is this the moment time unravels?
You really feel that tension, don't you?
You do.
Yeah.
You do. And just when it seems like all hope is lost,
Oh, no.
Apollo arrives.
Like,
Drawn me, Evangeline, by like a weakening of the curse.
oh, so he's free.
He is.
Oh, wow.
But his arrival only adds to the chaos and the tension.
Talk about bad timing.
I know.
Apollo bursts in, and he sees Evangeline with Jax,
Uh-huh.
surrounded by these glowing magical stones.
Right.
And in this moment of jealousy and confusion, he attacks Jax.
Right.
It's this chaotic,
Oh, it's
heart-stopping moment with the fate of time hanging in the balance.
It's pure chaos.
It's a crazy scene.
I know.
The arch is pulsing with energy. Jax is bleeding.
Yeah.
Apollo's fueled by this curse-induced frenzy.
Right.
And as they struggle, the stones react to all this surge of emotion.
Yeah.
And their power just spirals out of control.
It's a recipe for disaster.
It is. It is.
Does the arch open? Does time unravel?
What happens?
Well, in this moment of desperate improvisation,
Okay.
Angeline makes a split-second decision.
Okay.
That changes everything.
Okay, what does she do?
She realizes that the arch isn't meant to change time.
Oh, interesting.
It's meant to contain it,
Okay.
to keep the power of the stones from unraveling the timeline.
It's like those containment units
Yeah.
for hazardous materials.
Exactly.
You have to keep them isolated
Yeah.
to prevent a catastrophic leak.
Exactly.
But how does she contain the power of the stone?
In this, like, heart-wrenching act of sacrifice,
Oh,
he
wow.
pushes Jax into the arch.
No.
As the arch seals shut, trapping Jax inside,
Wow.
the chaotic energy stabilizes, time is saved, but at a terrible cost.
It really is. She sacrifices the man that she loves, even though she can't even remember him,
Yeah.
to save the world.
It's an incredibly heavy burden to bear.
I know. And the tragedy doesn't end there.
It doesn't.
Because even though Jax didn't succeed in changing time,
Mm-hmm.
those memories that he warned about still vanish.
Yeah.
Evangeline loses all recollection of her journey,
Right.
her time with Jax, even her friendship with Lala.
She left with this gaping hole in her memory.
It is. It is.
This constant reminder of the sacrifice that she made.
So she saved the world, but at the cost of a part of herself.
It's a bittersweet victory.
It is. It is.
So how does the story end?
Right.
Does she ever recover those lost memories?
Yeah.
Well, the story leaves that question unanswered.
It does.
It ends with Evangeline trying to rebuild her life with Apollo,
Right.
who's now free from the curse,
Yeah.
but burdened by all those memories of his actions while he was under its influence.
Right. Right.
They're both grappling with trauma and loss
Yeah.
and the weight of those choices they made in such impossible circumstances.
It's such a bittersweet ending.
It is.
The world is safe, but the characters are left with scars.
Right.
Both physical and emotional.
It reminds us that even in victory, there can be loss.
Yeah.
And that the path to healing is rarely straightforward.
That's so true.
And I think that's the beauty of the Ballad of Never After.
Yeah.
It's a story that stays with you long after you close the book.
It does.
It really prompts you to ponder the complexities of love and sacrifice and the enduring power of choice.
It really does. We've explored so much today.
We have.
The dark side of fairy tales,
Yeah.
the allure and danger of rewriting the past,
Yeah.
the enduring strength of the human spirit.
Absolutely.
What resonated with you the most in the Ballad of Never After? What are your theories about Jax's fate? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like and subscribe for more explorations into these really captivating stories. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those pages turning.